Hello there, guys. Welcome along to the Hellmouth Hotline. This is going to be a podcast on. Well, I was thinking for the longest time I wanted to do something on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I was going to run through reviews on YouTube for the series and the movie and all that good stuff and any related material. But I'm doing so many other things on YouTube at the minute that it was just flipping overkill. It was just too much, and I thought, let's get a podcast going for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And of course, the show is set on the Hellmouth in Sunnydale, and the Hellmouth Hotline, I was able to get the domain for that, so set it up, got the show set here, ready to go. But do you know what? I thought, stuff this. Horror is a huge genre that I've only really dabbled in ever so slightly. I'm not the biggest horror fan on the face of the planet. I like all the old, black and white movies, Dracula, Frankenstein, all that sort of stuff. Of course, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and whatnot, that brought it into the mainstream. And, I'm thinking to myself, it would be, it would motivate me a heck of a lot more to have a show that would actually get me to actually properly get into the horror genre 100%. As I say, it's not that I'm not a fan of horror. If the right movie comes along, I'm in there, love it, but it's not my go-to thing. So this podcast for me will be a motivational one as well, to get in there and stretch myself more as far as actually consuming content goes. And it might actually be entertaining for the listener to hear me freaking out and just what'll happen will happen. So I'm kind of pretty excited to get this one going. So we're going to be definitely doing, of course, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all that sort of stuff, related material and whatnot, the classics, Dracula, Frankenstein, all the Universal monsters, and we'll get into the newer stuff as well. So as far as the format of this show goes, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be putting out an episode as often as possible, probably 2 times a week. You'll get at least one anyway, we'll see what happens. And of course, Buffy is going to be a huge part of the start of the run of this podcast. But there's a crap load of episodes there, but that's not enough to keep something going long term. So getting into the whole horror genre should be entertaining, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, and hopefully we'll get a few guests on here. There is a guest that it's a long shot, but I think if I played my cards right, I could get perhaps an interview for the show at some point. I don't know. I don't want to push my luck by saying it here right now, but I've made a contact a long time ago that is kind of connected to the whole Buffy thing, so we'll have to see what happens there. But again, it's not a close enough contact that I could actually say with any degree of accuracy it could happen. But we'll get this podcast going, we'll get the Buffy stuff out there, and we'll see what happens, see if I can reach out and grab a hold of this person, because I do know this person in particular is doing a lot of promotion for a project at the minute, so they might actually be interested in getting on a podcast. But in saying that, this is a brand new podcast. There is no listenership for this yet, and I don't even know if it's going to work. But, God loves a trier, as they say. So, welcome to the Hellmouth Hotline. And I am your host, Rodney Stewart. And I do a lot of other stuff beyond this. Podcasting isn't my favourite form at the minute. I'm still really trying to get my head around just sitting down and doing audio. I come from a background of video production, so for me, That's my comfort zone. You know, I can talk nonsense on a camera all day long, and it just doesn't fizz on me at all. It's just like, yes, here we go, let's do it, sort of thing. But the audio thing, just I'm in my head too much at this point. I'm kind of really, really conscious in what I'm saying. So bear with me and let's see where it goes. And I'm excited for this podcast. In all honesty, as I said earlier on, horror isn't really my go-to thing, but it's something I've always been interested in learning a bit more about and watching and taking it in. And it's really weird that I say that, because when I get into video production, of course I was doing YouTube videos and whatnot, but then I got into short film content as well, and a few of my earliest things that I did as far as short films go is kind of horror based. So for someone that says horror is not the go-to thing, I actually, when the creative side came out in filmmaking, I naturally started drifting towards the horror element of things. So, maybe it is more my thing than I'm giving myself credit for. So we'll see what happens. So if you're interested in any of the other stuff that's going on at the moment, check out my website, coinsagemedia.com. There's a mountain of stuff there that you can check out. And, please, if you are a horror fan, follow the podcast, get subscribed to it, and I'll love you forever. So we'll talk to you in the next episode. This has been a production of Coins Edge Media. Check out my social media links in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening.